Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 87 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed video games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. As always, I'm your host, Erroll Moss, with my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey.
And we have a very special guest today, former GameSpot video producer, and he's going to hate me for saying this, but also the king of anime, Jake Dekker.
No anime.
Hey, you said most anime. You changed it.
No. I said some anime. That's what I changed it to. Definitely
I said most
not
anime.
most
I said most anime as a response to that. That's what it was.
So I had a different way of introducing you, or how I was going to introduce you. I was going to say the second most handsome face in the world of video games. Number one, I'd say the most handsome would be Tyroot. I mean, that square jaw, man.
He used to be my boss.
So, I told my girlfriend I was going to introduce you like that, and she looked at your picture and she was like, he's all right. So,
to me or to you? To you. Or both? Okay, yeah. That's fair. That's about how I feel whenever I see myself. He's all right. But like in a negative connotation, not like, he's all right. It's like, nah, he's all right.
You're good. Well, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure having you here. It's been a long time coming. Erroll has been super excited for this day. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I made the promise to Erroll. I was like, I will be on In From Japan when Tales of Arise comes out, because that might be the only thing I can talk to with like any sort of authority when it comes to Japanese games and anime and stuff.
I mean, it's not that difficult, but we'll be sure to have you on for something else that you might enjoy, like say Yakuza or Judgment or whatever. So there will be plenty to talk about. Yeah,
excellent. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean they're still making a cyberpunk anime, right?
I think so. I feel like we haven't heard from it in a while. I feel like, I mean, it wasn't supposed to come out until
it takes a while.
2022, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
But anyway, speaking of Japanese games we've been playing, yes, we've all been playing Tales of Arise. So I might be. No, I think we said before. Mm-hmm. I think. Because I'm at the fourth. No.
Which realm are you in?
The fourth realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after you get Dohalim, and I'm a little ways through the fourth realm.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, because I know Jason, you're ahead of me.
I just started. The
and you
realm,
just and
so I'm probably the furthest.
Okay.
one.
So the main area of the fourth realm is Nias, is the town, and then you have the forest, the ruins, which can all be seen on your map. I'm not spoiling anything. And then
I was gonna say, don't ruin anything.
Ha. Okay, you are getting better with your puns. I'll give you that.
But somebody has to do it when Nicole's not here.
So there is one other area. If you pay attention to the opening, you'll know what it is. So I won't give that away. But yeah. How has your time with Tales of Arise been? This is kind of your first main Tales game, right?
Oh, me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I played a little bit of Symphonia back in the day. Mm-hmm. It never clicked. I played the Berseria demo, and I liked it, and I have Berseria. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, this is my first foray into like really into a Tales game.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really have too many problems with it, except for I've talked about my problems with waypoints and maps before on this podcast, right? Yeah, the one thing is sometimes when it's not showing you you can't see the star until you're in the right room, and that kind of annoys me because I'll be like looking around for a while.
Well, usually in Tales games, it's not until you progress until you need to progress the story that they'll show you like the star icon. So until then, I'd say don't worry about it.
It's usually finding a key or something.
Yeah. Something that has to trigger the next event.
Yeah. That's
Jason, what's
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I was just curious what Jason's experience with the series is as well.
So
just to catch
I'm
me
a
up here
bit
a little bit.
like scattershot with the Tales game. I started with Symphonia, beat that 3-4 times I think, with my brother, and then I played Fantasia. I've also played Vesperia, Berseria, Zesteria, and I watched some of the anime of the Tales series, and now I'm with Tales of Arise. So that's a bit of my Tales history. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty similar to me. I started with Symphonia. I mostly rented it at Blockbuster because I was like, this game does not seem like my game at all, but there's nothing else here. And I ended up renting it like 2 or 3 times until finally I had my parents drive me to GameStop, so I could buy it. And then I played through with a friend. Like every weekend he would come over, or I'd go over there and I'd bring it and we'd play through in co-op, probably similar to how you and your brother played through it. But from that moment on, I was like a fan of the series because I love Symphonia. It hasn't aged super well.
No.
It's tough to go back to. I tried playing it on PC a couple years ago, and I was like, you know what, this is better kept in my memory. I don't think I need to replay it now.
It's kind of like how I view Final Fantasy VII, the original. It's also similar to how the Tales game kind of shot in popularity with Tales of Symphonia, and Final Fantasy shot in popularity with Final Fantasy VII. So there's that comparison. And Final Fantasy VII is still okay to play, but you also feel the dated design behind it all. And now that's also remedied by having remake being a thing. Which I'm also curious, Erroll. When we talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake, you kind of had your gripes with the combat system. And this is in that general area. Do you also have the same?
I don't feel that way.
Really?
Like at all. I like this combat way better.
Is it because of the aerial stuff?
Yes, probably.
I knew it. So...
the aerial stuff is satisfying.
It is really satisfying. I like how you can string basically at minimum 50 hits, and if you're really good or fairly competent, you can do 100 hits fairly regularly, and it's really satisfying. And I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think combat in general, like of all the Tales games, this one, the combat feels the smoothest. Like I feel like it's maybe not easier to chain combos together, but it feels a lot more natural to be chaining all these combos together. Like I remember especially in Symphonia, it'd be like you use an art and then there's that pause, and then you'd use an art and then there's that pause. And there were certain arts that would flow together and you kind of have to figure that out, but this is like most arts flow together. There are some that obviously don't, and you'll figure that out, but like I feel like it really rewards that combat experimentation in this one. And like I've played Symphonia, Fantasia. I reviewed Berseria for GameSpot.
Yeah, you did.
I got a lot of crap for that because I gave it a 7. I've played Xillia 1 and 2, Zesteria, Vesperia, Abyss, Hearts
You've done it all.
Oh, I did. I have tried Abyss. I've tried Abyss. I forgot.
Yeah, Abyss, I remember because that came out right after Symphonia, and I really wanted to play it, but I didn't have a PlayStation. And then eventually it came to
3DS.
To 3DS.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I've only finished like 3 of them. One of which, obviously, Berseria, because I reviewed it. I finished Symphonia, and then I finished Vesperia. And I'm hoping I finish. I
don't blame you because these games can tend to be very long. Like Symphonia on the box says, at minimum that you'll have 80 hours in the game. So that should give you an idea of how lengthy these stories can be. So yeah.
Symphonia also had a crazy end game too, like a crazy hard end game dungeon. I remember that you could easily, just to get prepared for that, you could sink in way more time. I never did it. I remember going to a friend's house and watching him do it, and I was like, nah,
I think
I'm good.
me and my brother only did that once, and after we completed the game, we decided to do the highest difficulty, which is Mania. And we ended up being killed by the bunny rabbit in the starting area. So we said, nah, that's it. That's where we stop. Yeah,
sounds about right. Yeah, that I remember that game being pretty hard too, especially the later stuff. I mean, I was a dumb kid too, so
it's understandable. So, how are we liking the story and the characters so far?
Stories.
Go ahead. I just talked a lot.
Story. I'm liking so far. Characters. I like a little less, but they're still not like nobody's annoying me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of has their own kind of thing, and it's just like, but they're not. None of them are like. Besides Alphen,
Mm-hmm.
none of them, Alphen and Shion. Like I feel like the other ones aren't all that interesting to me. Well, Dohalim is. I don't know. I feel like they're not as interesting as I thought they would be. I don't know.
I'd say finish the 4th area.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll change your mind. That's all I'll say.
Also, speaking of characters, I do like how Rinwell, for one of her attacks, just goes blah 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 magic. That made me laugh.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
How about you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm really liking the characters. I think kind of to piggyback off Erroll a little bit, like none of the characters have bugged me, and like that was always something I anticipated in Tales games. I'm like, there's always going to be one character that I can't stand, and it's not necessarily going to be intentional. It's just going to be like, this character is just the most obnoxious character archetype ever, and we're gonna I don't know, it'll be a character who obsesses with food.
Yeah.
You know, like I was waiting for that character, and I feel like all the characters are still kind of based in those character like JRPG archetypes, but they're all so much more subdued. Where, on one hand, like for me, I prefer that, I think, a lot more. But I can see why I can see why other people may not find them as like colorful or interesting right off the bat because they are more subdued. But I mean, I'm really liking the characters. I really like Rinwell and Kisara quite a bit. It's funny, Dohalim is one of your favorites because so far I'm not super sold on him.
Interesting.
I just think he's like his viewpoints are.
I did like his story. Yeah, I liked the story for it, but I don't know. I think part of it is just like because I don't really like to. Whenever I get a new character, I try to like fight with them for at least an hour, and I quickly was like, I don't. Really
I tried playing as him in the training arena, and I quickly found out that I am not very good with Dohalim.
Yeah, because if you got to be good at dodging.
Yeah, you got to be good at dodging and also combining physical attacks with magic attacks because he's kind of also a spellcaster and that takes some getting used to.
I mostly play with Alphen and a little bit of Kisara. Otherwise, I don't really like how playing as the other characters.
Okay. So far I've only played with Alphen, a little bit with Shion, Dohalim, and Law. And Law is very fun, especially if...
Oh, I did try Law too.
If you've played... Well, it's not really comparable, but if you've played FF14 and you have the Monk class, so that's kind of how I envision how Law would play, and I'm pretty dead on, but, it's action combat and not really clicking and waiting till an action appears on screen. But yeah, Law is really fun. And yeah, like Jake said, the characters are more subdued. And I also like that. It's probably the intention to gear this towards a more Western audience, and that's why the characters are so subdued.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Normally, characters are at 11, and now they feel like a 7 or a 6. when you usually have them screaming "you bastard," and now just like "you bastard," very whispering esque, and yeah, it's very different. It takes a lot of getting used to for me, because I'm so used to them being so anime, and now they're still anime, but more like Western anime esque, if that makes any sense. Like even the Avatar shows are a bit extreme in their emotions, but they have more nuances in how they portray their characters.
Right.
Yeah. So
do you think you prefer that then?
well, not yes or not even no. I'm comfortable with either.
As long as the characters are well written.
As long as I
interesting.
can relate to someone, or someone's story resonates with something I've experienced, then yeah, definitely. Like, not to be all up on the wokeness on the podcast, but I'm a person of color, and there's a lot of talk about slavery and racism, and that's something I've dealt with personally, and being a descendant of slaves is also something that really resonated with me. And I have heard some criticism with how it's handled in the final part of the game, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. But up till now, it's been really interesting and cool to see it treated very seriously, and it's really interesting. And so far I'm in love with the characters, especially the will they won't they of it all. I can easily see not all of them, but I can easily see 3 romantic pairings, and with a special focus on the main pairing. And I love how much they hesitate with following through on something, and it's so special to see, because it's not exaggerated, it's not played for laughs, it's really grounded in how they are feeling as people, and how they have suffered so much during their lives that they're not willing to commit to something, and it's really interesting to see. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
Now,
yeah, I mean, to your point, I think one thing that really bugs me is when everyone kind of calls Tales games is just like, oh, it's JRPG junk food, which like I see it, like I get that why people would say that, but I think it's also like underselling that a lot of these games do deal with pretty deep and heavy themes, and they usually like they don't handle them perfectly, but like what does, but like they at least try to tackle that kind of stuff, and I feel like people just rarely give the credit that they're due for doing that, because I remember playing through Berseria, or even like when I revisited Symphonia, I was like, dang, I played this as a kid, all this was going over my head, but they like really were like themes of racism, themes of like what's right or wrong, and it's something I've always really appreciated about the series. It's something that like I feel like can be tough to find in the AAA space. Out of, I don't know what it could be out of, but like it's like an interesting risk that a lot of these games take, and I'm excited that more people are playing this game. Like I think they said they've already surpassed like 1 million.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that in the story. Sure.
But I'm curious to see what more people playing this series will think of it, because like I'm curious about the ending too, but I at least appreciate that they are kind of like trying to swing for the fences, and they are showing that side of the series. They're not kind of trying to like there are certain things that they are softening for a Western audience, but I'm happy that that's not one of them.
It's not like they're waffling on the message by saying being good and doing good prevails all. It's very messy in its storytelling, and there are consequences to actions, and that's really cool to see. And even back to the older games like Vesperia, where it's about justice and how far can you take justice, or how much justice can you take into your own hands, especially around Yuri, when you're confronted with someone who has done bad things. Do you just throw them in jail, or do you kill them? And what does it mean if you kill them, or what does it mean when you throw them in jail? And that's a very interesting topic, and yeah, it's cool to see more people getting into this, and I hope this leads to even more and better things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I talked about in my Berserker review too, was just how it's like this game's a lot darker than people probably are gonna give it credit for.
Yeah.
It is like a revenge story, and I loved how that game was. It like you basically saw the hero of the universe save the universe, and you're trying to get revenge on that guy. And obviously, there's a lot more to it, but I thought that setup was like really clever for a JRPG because that's never the setup, right? Or at least it's usually
rarely.
not the
Yeah,
setup.
you're kind of the bad guys and kind of not, and that's a very cool angle. So yeah.
Also, this game is gorgeous.
Very gorgeous.
Looks real good.
Very,
Yes.
very gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, it astounds me that it exists. I mean, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how well they'd pull it off. And I saw the demo, and that was already mind-blowing. But just to have the full game so lovingly detailed, and the characters having so many cool nuances to their clothing, the stitching, the accessories, it's really cool. And I'm very tempted to spend extra money to get the other costumes, and it's taking all my willpower not to do that, because it's so beautiful to see.
So have you guys done the farming or the fishing?
I've done a little bit of fishing. I just got it pretty much.
Yeah.
I do farming every chance I get, because there's also...
I mean, the farming's pretty easy because you just put the animals in the thing.
What I find funny is if there are like rats on your farm, you have to physically chase them away. And it's
I haven't had that happen to me yet.
It's funny because you have to walk on the field to a rodent just hanging out there, and you shoot him away, and you see them run away outside the farm. And fishing I do as much as possible, because some fish can be sold, and geld is, well, the money in this game is very hard to come by. So you have to maximize every possible avenue in order to come across that.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I haven't been getting enough money and upgrading stuff or changing stuff out as frequently as I probably should have been.
Yeah, because
I think that was my issue.
You don't get money
earlier
from most fights, or any fights, I should say.
Right.
You have to do the side quests, go fishing, and you can sell your old armor to get some money, and then use that to get some upgrades.
Yeah, I got the Ultimate Edition, which came with a lot of the costumes and DLC packs and stuff, and I redeemed it, just thinking like, oh, it's just costumes, and I was like, yeah, yes to everything, and I got a ton of, at least I thought, a ton of gold. I got like 10,000 or 100,000, and I was like, all right, I feel like I just broke the economy. Like 5 hours later, I was out of money, like just from buying gels and life bottles and weapons and stuff like that. I thought I'd be set for the game, and I'm pleased to know that I am not, and now I have to like actually engage more with those systems and do more side quests so I can get the money to afford the stuff that I
it's
want.
definitely the orange gels that need more of, because the CP drains real fast,
which is kind of ironic, because in the past games the gels were very plentiful. Like you'd have like an overstock of gels which you couldn't wait to get rid of in order to buy other stuff, and here it's like the rarest thing, like even rarer than crafting materials, which is very funny, I think. And the interesting thing is it forces you to be more aware of battles and healing, and not just whack away when fighting against enemies. You have to be like, oh, I have to pay attention to how many points I have left to heal, or else I won't survive this dungeon. And I can't spend all my money on armor or weapons, or otherwise I won't have money to buy orange gels or life bottles. And it makes you kind of engage with the game a bit more thoughtfully, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Oh well. I think we've spoken enough about Tales of Arise, so we should probably get a move on.
We'll talk about it a little more later.
Yeah.
But next we'll move on to the In From Japan J-List, some recent video game related entertainment news. And these are just two things that I was excited about, really. So the first story is that all 100 One Piece manga volumes sell 1 million copies. This is by Alyssa James for Siliconera. One Piece reached 1 million copies of its manga sold each, according to the Oricon Weekly Comic Ranking. This means that all 100 volumes of Eiichiro Oda's hugely popular shonen manga have either hit or surpassed the million copies sold milestone. In the same period, the 12th volume of One Piece magazine, which prints information on the series, ranked first with 42,000 copies sold. Starting in 2008, when One Piece's rankings were first tracked by Oricon, its 50 volumes have ranked first place every single year. To date, the One Piece 1 million milestone marks the only manga series that has achieved this feat, and the manga's popularity extends beyond Japan. As of July 2021, it has 490 million copies in circulation globally, currently the best-selling manga in history.
Yep. I think the only manga that came close to beating it in monthly rankings was Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer.
Right.
But still, overall, One Piece is a juggernaut that cannot be stopped.
It's on they're on chapter 1027? 1028? I read it weekly.
Something like that.
What's One Piece? I'm just kidding.
Gee, I was going to give you a whole wiki breakdown.
Okay, so do you have, how much time do you have?
Yeah, can you break down all 100 of these?
No, I couldn't.
So the first arc is called Romance Dawn, and that's when...
the best advice I have for people who just want to have the cliff notes is to play the Pirate Warrior games, like the third and the fourth.
The fourth has stuff that isn't canon, I'm pretty sure.
Sure, the Wano arc has some original stuff in the game, but besides that, it's probably the best or briefest way to catch up on it all. And there are
besides reading the wiki.
Yeah, there are also some special episodes that recap giant parts of past arcs, and you can also watch that as a way to get up to speed. But
that's kind of what I've been doing, because I didn't watch a lot of the older, back when 4Kids was dubbing it, I watched a bit of that, and then I stopped, and then I watched a little bit of the Funimation dub when it was on Toonami, and I stopped, and then not until college that my friend was like, hey, you should start. He wanted to get me to start watching One Piece, and so I just started watching post time skip, and then I went back to watch some older key arcs.
Well,
and now I'm here.
Well,
reading the manga every week.
I applaud you. I just don't have the time or space or brain energy to do One Piece. I do other anime and manga, so I'll be fine in the meantime.
I understand.
Yeah.
And last, a story on the J list. Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Kaiba set comes with his briefcase and his deck. This is by Stephanie Liu for Siliconera. In commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, Konami will release the Ultimate Kaiba set. This set will consist of Kaiba's 61-card deck, including his famous Blue Eyes White Dragons, and his briefcase, which, that's the reason I want it. That's a slick briefcase. It'll cost 33,000 yen and will come out April 2022. Pre-orders are open from September 21st to October 31st, 2021.
That's about $330 US.
That's an expensive briefcase.
I wanted one of those briefcases so bad when I saw that episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was a kid, and he shows up with his 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons or whatever. I was like, I want that. And I even had I got one from a flea market, one of those silver briefcase. Didn't fit cards though. I just threw it on.
Yeah.
It's nice enough to pretend with.
I'm sure it's worth the cards I just checked in there. Probably worth hundreds of dollars now. But I had no idea. I was just a dumbass kid.
Well. Yeah, I did not take good care of a lot of my cards back in the day. The briefcase is a limited time collector's item with the 25th anniversary logo on the interior. It also has a belt on the inside to hold a duel mat in place. You never know when you will have an emergency duel after all. There are 14 separators inside the case to store a total of 7,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. As the briefcase itself is 8 kilograms, this means that once it's full, it will be fairly hefty to carry around.
Well,
the cards that come with the set look like the original editions, in which the description and attack defense points are in 2 columns below the monster art. The signature 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons are secret rare, while all of the other cards are ultra rare. Of the 61 cards, 3 are new to the OCG. Oh, and I don't want to go. The 3 cards are Attack Guidance Armor, Life Shaver, and Magical Trick Mirror. I think these were like anime exclusive before.
oh, okay.
Or manga exclusive? Because the illustration shows it's the manga.
Probably.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Kaiba set. Oh yeah, okay, blah blah blah. Cool. And then there was the Kaiba figure that I don't remember if we talked about the other day, but there's a Kaiba figure of him with it's him and Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes White Alternative Dragon instead of 3 Blue Eyes, because I'm sure like having to sculpt that might have been kind of difficult.
Probably. I mean, there are people willing to pay for all of that if it was available.
But again, I thought that was cool. I just finished, I finished the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist manga recently. Started Millennium, and Yu-Gi-Oh! R. Started Millennium World. Haven't gone back to it quite yet, though.
Oh, okay.
Just looking for a lot of other manga and stuff to read.
Well, I should have a recommendation list soon-ish. So keep an eye out for that.
Good. Next up, we're going to recommend content other than news from the past week. We have If You Hate Mobile Games in 2021, You're Not Playing Enough by Giovanni Colantonio for Digital Trends. 20 Years of Advance Wars by Siliconera staff for Siliconera. An ode to Final Fantasy XIII's. How do I pronounce this?
Oerba dia Vanille.
Okay. By Natalie Flores for Fanbyte. Review WarioWare to Get It Together is a Good Time and a Bad Omen by Graham Russell for Siliconera. Lost Judgment, Juggles a Lot, and Fumbles Most of It by Kazuma Hashimoto for Polygon. Wonder if Michael Hyam's going to do a Lost Judgment review for Fanbyte at some point.
I'd say if you are interested in Lost Judgment, reading this review could be helpful because it delves into a lot of the sensitive subjects that the Yakuza and Judgment games get into. So I'd say recommended. Definitely recommended.
And now we're going to move on to the news rundown. So I'll let our bearer of baddish news and Shinigami, Jason, take it away.
Yes, Bankai. So first up, we have Tales of Arise bug prevents players from continuing after boss fight. This is by the aforementioned Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Bandai Namco has revealed that a bug in Tales of Arise is currently preventing players from progressing after the boss fight. However, a fix is currently in the works, and a temporary solution to the problem has been posted through the official Tales of Arise website. There are currently 2 solutions to the issue, one of which involves deleting the title from your console and reinstalling the game entirely. As it stands, only the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game have this issue. The issue itself revolves around the installation progress for the game stopping entirely while players are able to access it before the game has fully installed. This has caused reports of players being unable to progress the game after the boss fight, as they hit a loading screen that doesn't end. So maybe wait till the game finishes installing? I mean,
yeah.
Seems like a relatively easy fix, but okay.
So people could just how PlayStation's ready to start, and then people played it and then got to a point.
Yeah, I think that's it. Which, okay, I guess.
But it's only on PlayStation though.
Weird.
Yeah. That's why I got it on
same.
Xbox.
So,
because I knew this bug was gonna happen. Get it? No, it was just because I don't know. I feel like I've played all those games on different platforms. So I was like, I haven't played one on Xbox since Vesperia, so might as well do that.
I mean, all the marketing was Xbox, right?
It was.
The console-focused marketing was mostly Xbox, yes. I think they wanted to play up that Vesperia 360 nostalgia. And it worked because I bought it on Xbox too. Next up, we have Bayonetta voice actor hints at possible departure from role. This is by Andrew Kia for Siliconera. Helena Taylor, the English voice actor behind the titular protagonist of the Bayonetta series, has hinted at a possible departure from the role. When asked for further clarification, Taylor stated that she is unable to provide any details due to contractual obligations. The news comes from Twitter, where the actress expressed gratitude towards fans of the Bayonetta franchise. However, one user stated that they couldn't imagine Bayonetta without Taylor's amazing voice. The actress responded, "Well, you might have to." Maybe pointing at hints as to what's to be expected in Bayonetta 3? Maybe? Hint, hint, wink, wink?
Yeah, it's unclear if it was like what this actually meant.
Yeah, she's also not at liberty to discuss it, so we'll have to wait and see if this means what we think it means. Oh well. Now, moving on to the good.
We haven't heard anything about Bayonetta 3 in a long time, anyway.
Listen, Kamiya will find you and hunt you down if you mention that. He said, wait. He can't say anything else. Just wait. Okay. Next up, we have the good-ish news.
So, in other news,
Square Enix announces TGS 2021 online lineup schedule. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Square Enix has announced, in English and in Japanese, its lineup of games and live stream schedule for the Tokyo Game Show 2021 online, which will run from September 30th to October 3rd. And the lineup is as follows: Collection of Saga, Final Fantasy Legend, Deep Insanity Asylum, Dragon Quest X Offline, Dragon Quest X Online, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Final Fantasy VII First Soldier, Final Fantasy XIV Forspoken, Imperial Saga Eclipse, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Project Triangle Strategy, Romancing Saga Re-Universe, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, aka Chaos, and War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That's a lot. That's a lot. So if you click on the article, there will be a breakdown of the schedule of what you can expect day by day, hour by hour. So thoughts, predictions, anything?
Sounds like they've already hinted it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we'll get final confirmation if Dragon Quest X Offline will be released outside of Japan. Because it wasn't clear during the Dragon Quest stream, but they didn't say Japan only.
I wouldn't bet on it because they're probably in pre-production on Dragon Quest XII, and I'm guessing the localization budget isn't that big that they can do 2 games at once. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Or they will pull a Falcom and hire the fan translators to, speed up the process.
Well, it'll be good to hear more about Forspoken and Project Triangle strategy.
Yeah.
And Stranger of Paradise.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Yes.
No, kill chaos.
Okay.
Speaking of Dragon Quest, Hexadrives opens recruitment page for Dragon Quest XII development. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Japanese independent game developer Hexadrive has opened a recruitment page revealing that it will participate in the development of Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate. Hexadrive has previously worked on Square Enix games, which includes the likes of Final Fantasy XV and Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. Right now, the developer is looking for game designers, programmers, and environmental artists to work on Dragon Quest XII. The Dragon Quest XII development and recruitment listings were posted through the official Hexadrive Twitter account. The recruitment page details the requirements that potential employees will need to meet in order to apply. Applications are currently limited to those who are able to work within Japan. Additionally, it reveals that Dragon Quest XII will be developed using Unreal Engine 5.
That's promising.
Did you guys play 11?
Yes.
Did you like 11?
We're big fans of 11. I didn't finish it, but I got pretty far into it, I think. It's very fun. It's very breezy and chill, and it's such a pleasant time, and yeah, I really like it.
11 convinced me to get all the other ones. So
and then you played through all of them?
Not yet. I've played through 5. I've played through 11. I've played through 5, and I've played through 1 so far.
Oh dang, you're making progress. Because I played 11. I loved Dragon Quest 11. I think it's just like, it's so well written. It's so cheery and like fun, and it just that art style is so timeless. Right. I think. But I was also similar. I was like, I should probably play more of these games because I've dabbled in 3 and 4, I think, back when they came out. So I got a bunch of them. Haven't touched.
4 is the only one I don't have any version of, because that one's actually kind of hard to find for whatever reason. I don't know if they
maybe it wasn't
printed less
4 that I played then
for like the DS version or what, but yeah, my whole thing was I played Dragon Quest Monsters when I was little because I was like, oh, this game's like Pokemon, cool. And then I was like, oh, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, oh, it's probably like that Monsters game. And I'm like, oh, you can't actually recruit the monsters in this one? And I didn't play it again until earlier this year.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Rocket Slime?
No, I've heard good things though.
I loved that game. I played so much of that game on DS. I actually recently just bought, or a friend of mine actually bought it for me. Bought me a copy of it because we were both talking about it. We both found out that we both played it. But if you can get your hands on a DS, I recommend playing that game because it's really neat. There's a lot of clever ideas, and it's much more than meets the eye.
I also do have Builders 2, which I need to restart because I got weirdly stuck in it, and I have Heroes 2 for when I finish the main games.
So you're stocked up on games to play for till the end of time.
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Next up, we have Nvidia response to database leak. Inclusion of FF7 remake is speculative. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Nvidia has released a response in relation to the massive GeForce Now database leak that occurred. The Nvidia database leak included a massive list of titles that many believe confirmed for potential PC releases, such as FF7 Remake, Bayonetta 3, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, and more. While some of these titles have already released for consoles, others are currently in development or not yet confirmed. Shout out to WCC Tech. Shortly after the leak, the corporation released a statement revealing that the leaks regarding the list were speculative. This means that the titles included on the Nvidia database leak, such as FF7 Remake, are only used for internal tracking and testing. As it stands, none of these games on the list have a confirmed or potential PC release. So yeah, I mean, there was a bit of a kerfuffle earlier in the week regarding this, and some people also spotted a Final Fantasy IX remake being a potential thing that would be coming out.
And then wasn't Kingdom Hearts 4 there too?
Yeah, but companies always carve out some extra space in their databases or servers
for placeholders and to plan for eventualities and
have a bit of breathing room when it comes to computational data. So I wish a lot of these potential titles were real, but they're probably not.
Especially the ones that maybe don't have a port yet, like the ones that were Chrono Cross remaster and Final Fantasy Tactics remastered.
Well, Square Enix have said in the past that they are aiming to have much of their back catalog available again. be it digitally or as
so it's
something else.
possible.
So it's possible, but is it a hard confirmation? No.
No.
But Square Enix is kind of like Nintendo in how they are willing to surprise friend and foe with whatever they announce or not announce.
Right.
So we'll see. Speaking of Square Enix, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin questionnaire reveals player satisfaction. This is also by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Square Enix has released the results of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin questionnaire, which has revealed that 70% of players who participated in the demo were satisfied with their experience. Okay, sure. Additionally, the questionnaire dove into the finer details of the demo and revealed how players felt about the graphics and gameplay outside of the general positive reception. Shout out to 4Gamer. A total of 75% of participants were satisfied with the gameplay in Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Roughly the same amount of players were satisfied with the combat of the title. Additionally, the developers revealed that they will make several adjustments to the combat system in response to feedback. Players will also have access to more weapons and jobs in the full release of the game. Interesting. So mostly positive. Jake, did you have a chance to try out Stranger of Paradise?
I did not.
Man,
I actually don't know what that is.
Really?
I'm surprised because it's a basically Souls-like Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I know what it is. I did
We were
not
saying
play it,
chaos.
though. Okay, yeah. That's what I remember the most from that.
The game has so much potential. It's just that the dressing around it all is kind of a letdown. And it has so much potential. You can just feel that the game can be great. It just needs a lot more love. But it's good to see that most people are satisfied with it. I hope they add a lot more, like switching between roles as I suggested, or doing a total 180 on the art style. Maybe that's asking too much, but a guy can dream. Next up, we have Capcom is releasing Resident Evil 25th Anniversary box sets for $55. This is by Andrew Kia for Siliconera. Capcom has announced that it will sell a collection of 3 Biohazard episode selection box sets, including the mainline Resident Evil games for the PS4 as part of the series' 25th anniversary. Each box will cost about 5,990 yen, or approximately $55, and will release in Japan on November 25th, 2021. Furthermore, the third box set includes 13 postcards featuring the cover art of past games. This is a shout out to Gamer. I think this is Japan only for now.
Yeah.
So
Those look pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be confirmed for the West.
I mean,
you know how many people like Resident Evil here?
Yeah. It would be fun.
I'm eyeing that 4, 5, and 6 one. I really enjoyed 5. I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, but the co-op, I just really liked.
And I'm guessing you also...
Yeah, I had fun with the co-op in 5 as well.
Also guessing, Erroll, you like the less spooky Resident Evils.
Yes. Well, I didn't play... I watched my friend play some of 6, and I was like, what is this?
6 is a lot. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
6 is a lot. Next up, we have PS5 firmware update adds M.2 SSD storage expansion. This is by Jenny Lada for Siliconera. The much requested M.2 SSD storage expansion feature will arrive as part of the September 15th, 2021 PS5 firmware update. Sony announced it, as well as UX changes, 3D audio support, and app changes. Okay, will all be available everywhere. It also shared videos going over changes and acting as a tutorial for the SSD changeover. So, any of you guys run into storage issues? And are you eyeing a potential M.2 SSD expansion?
Not quite yet. I was earlier, but
I just delete games when I'm done with them. Like I don't have like I really like this game, gotta leave it on my hard drive. I'm just like, all right, it's done, you're out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually like that. Sometimes I'm picky about games, especially if they are games I play online with friends. Then I'm really hesitant on deleting that. But if you're,
I think it helps.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think it helps in my case because I don't really play much online games on my PlayStation. I mostly save that for my PC or Xbox. So like with PlayStation, I only play single player stuff. So when I'm done with it, usually I delete it. That said, I probably won't delete Demon's Souls off my PS5 because I still jump in that and play
makes
that.
sense.
Oh, you haven't played it yet?
No, I have, but I replay it.
I haven't. I have it because I wanted another PS5 game, and Blue Point is amazing, but I just haven't started it yet.
Erroll, what are you doing?
It's a
lot of other stuff.
People would kill to play Demon's Souls. Kill for a PlayStation.
Maybe
5.
even stream it. It would be fun.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you should stream it. I second that.
We'll see. I don't think so.
You should play it though. I mean, even if it's not your thing, I think just.
I loved Bloodborne.
Stylistically,
and
okay, then you'll probably like it. But stylistically, it's incredible.
I like Dark Souls 3. Okay, I didn't play the DLC of that one, and then Sekiro just never clicked with me.
You're probably breaking Jake's heart, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, Sekiro didn't click for me either until like 20 hours in, and then it clicked.
No,
and then
I was not gonna. I was not gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was more like because it was like I like everything about this game. I just can't figure out the combat, so I'm gonna sit here and force myself to figure out the combat. Also, I know it's gonna be like talked about during Game of the Year stuff. So when I finally figured it out, and then that's probably the From Software game I played through the most because I there was a phase where I just run through that game every evening after work, and they say game journalists can't play games.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh?
Play Demon's Souls.
You gonna play Elden Ring when that comes out?
No, I don't think so.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna play a lot of that game.
Hopefully it doesn't get. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed. But a lot of people think it's gonna get delayed.
It's coming up.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, they waited long enough to reveal details and release date, so I think it should be good.
Greg Miller keeps saying he thinks it's gonna be delayed.
I mean, if it gets delayed, as far as I'm concerned, like. If they think they need the extra time and they think they're going to make it a better game, fine with me. There's so many games coming out in February that like I'm sure they'll be.
And if it got delayed, I'm not sure it would be that long of one either.
Yeah. Oh well.
You're welcome to derail this Souls discussion.
It's fine.
Next up, we got Marvelous First Studio working on Daemon X Machina sequel. Is it Daemon X Machina or Daemon Cross Machina? Because I know in Japanese they kind of...
It depends. You can also say Daemon Machina if you don't read the cross, but most people say Daemon X Machina.
Okay. Marvelous First Studios' Kenichiro Tsukada announced that his team is working on a sequel to Daemon X Machina. The former Armored Core series producer made the revelation at the Daemon X Machina 2nd anniversary livestream. Tsukada also mentioned that his team is motivated in working on the Daemon X Machina sequel, but the development will take some time. He added that the new game's content may be different as he adds more staff members to the team. In the 2nd anniversary stream, Kenichiro Tsukada and director Kanawada held live multiplayer sessions with the audience while casually talking about the game's background settings. Tsukada made the sequel announcement around the 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 30-second mark. He also revealed that the development team 3D printed a number of Radiant Gleam model kits. Ooh. Marvelous will hand 5 of them to 5 lucky winners in a Japan-exclusive sweepstake.
Okay, I only want 2 things out of this game. One, I want the world to be a lot more colorful because the reds and brown were kind of drab. And two, I want the mechs to surf on giant surfboards like Eureka 7.
You want it to be like Eureka 7?
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want. Then I'll be a happy camper. I don't need much.
I've heard that people liked the first one, but they were like, "Oh yeah, if it gets a sequel, they could really improve on some stuff."
Yeah, it's loved enough, but it just didn't hit that ceiling that it should have or could have. Oh
well. Next up, Xbox sets expectations for its Tokyo Game Show live stream. This is actually from Eurogamer by Tom Phillips. Microsoft has set expectations ahead of its upcoming Xbox live stream for Tokyo Game Show. The live event will be broadcast on Thursday, 30th September at 6 p.m. Japan time. That's 10 a.m. in the UK, and I don't know what time it is here in the US.
yeah.
Regionally relevant updates on previously announced games coming later this year, Microsoft has now said. Importantly, no new global debut should be expected. In other words, don't expect Microsoft to suddenly reveal Halo Infinite 2 or that it's pocketed Nintendo. I was going to say something like, don't expect, the things I want, like a Blue Dragon remake or a Blinks the Time Sweeper 3.
Yeah, well, okay. Blinks I can't speak to, but Blue Dragon, Mistwalker recently said, Sakaguchi said in an interview
they don't want to, yeah.
He would prefer resources go to newer ideas, and he's also ready to retire, so yeah, it's probably not happening.
Just put Fantasian on more platforms and I'll be fine.
I mean, with the track record of Apple games or Apple Arcade games coming to Switch, it probably would suggest that it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah. Speaking of which, I still need to play World's End Club. Man, my backlog just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Oh well.
What I found useful is playing with friends.
World End Club?
With like another person watching.
Oh.
And just like you're kind of doing it together, trying to figure stuff out.
Or like a book club sort of style can help too.
Yeah.
Like I do it pretty casually, like with some friends, but I know some people who are like, all right, by this date we're gonna try to have this game done. Which I think if I had a deadline, I'd be less interested in playing it. But like that definitely helps. Like that has helped me get through a lot of games, even if I wasn't enjoying it, or even if I was, it was just like oh, I'm just gonna casually play this.
Yeah,
like, no,
that's a good idea. I have because I have my backlog, and then I have a section of my backlog that like these are the games I want to play for this specific reason. Because I'm also like trying to like just every once in a while I put some ideas for like this sci-fi like JRPG. I mean, it's not a JRPG because it's not actually Japanese, but it's a sci-fi styled indie JRPG style thing. And I'm like, okay, I want to play like these JRPGs and these sci-fi Western RPGs to get like a good idea of what I can do.
Interesting.
Still haven't played Mass Effect.
Okay. Look, it's on sale on Amazon if you get it for Xbox digitally. So maybe
I would get the physical of that probably.
Okay. There's also that.
I got the physical of that. Because I knew I'd want it and play it a lot. And sure enough, it was worth it.
And I'm going to play Andromeda too. Don't. I'm going to do it.
I actually, if you play through Mass Effect 1 through 3, you should definitely play Andromeda. Whether or not you finish it, I think that's like up to your own mileage. Like if it's something you're enjoying. Like recently, a lot of people have been coming around on it. And I think it helps because there's mods, and like when I played it, it was before a lot of those patches came out that fixed a lot of issues. I've been meaning to replay it for a while now. I was gonna do it after I finished the Mass Effect trilogy, but
it's just
I didn't. I think the reason I didn't was because I wanted to play on Xbox Series X, and it was like. And it didn't have a Series X patch or even an Xbox One X patch. So it's like, I don't really want to do 30 frames, 720 or whatever it was when it
I feel like it's one of those games where it's like like from outside looking in, like it's one of those games where it's like maybe it wasn't that bad. It's just not what people were really wanting from Mass Effect. I don't know.
Expectations.
Well,
Yeah.
High.
I'd say if the baseline is Mass Effect 1 through 3, then Andromeda doesn't quite hit that. Well, yeah, that's all I'll say. Just wait. I'll wait till you play it for yourself.
For anyone to say, hey, Mass Effect isn't a Japan-developed game. It has an anime movie. It counts.
Sure.
I will say the combat in Andromeda is really good, though.
Yep.
Next news story here. We got former Capcom USA and Europe CEO Kiichiro Urata joined Sony Interactive Entertainment as head of Japan, Asia, Partner Development and Relations. Urata left Capcom back in August after 10 years. This is by Saramano for Gamatsu. Kiichiro Urata, the former CEO of Capcom USA and Europe, has joined Sony Interactive Entertainment as the Senior Vice President and head of the Japan-Asia Partner Development and Relations Division, the company announced. Urata was head of Capcom's Americas and Europe Business Division for September 2011 until August 2021. He was also a managing corporate officer.
Okay, so this tells me that Sony is quite serious still about Japan developed properties for PlayStation. Right. Yeah, because previously the things they showed and how they talked about their future plans didn't really inspire a lot of confidence in that. But this is a good move. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, more Tales news. First Tales of Luminaria stream will appear ahead of TGS 2021. This is by Jenny Lada for Siliconera. Following Gamescom 2021, Bandai Namco promised more news on its next mobile Tales of game would appear sometime in September 2021. Now it came through with an exact date for a Tales of Luminaria stream via Twitter. The first official program is on the way on September 23rd, 2021. It will appear on YouTube at 8 p.m. Pacific Time / 11 p.m. Eastern Time on September 23rd, 2021. That's 12 p.m. Japan Standard Time on September 24th, 2021. Interesting. I've also read about the producer talking this game up, and according to him, Tales of Luminaria is more or less a mainline entry, but for mobile platforms. So it won't be a crossover game. It will be a wholly original cast, if I remember correctly. And the cast will be pretty sizable. And combat won't be turn-based. It will be action combat. So yeah.
No, I'm interested.
The thing is, it just with these mobile games, they keep making a new one and then shutting the other one down.
Well, this will be different because this will be like a full story game, not something with gacha components, I think. I still need
I want to find out what happens about in the rest of Cristoria, because I did like that story.
Yeah, it was a pretty good story. Kind of reminded me of Vesperia in some aspects. But yeah, if you're if you don't have a good enough phone to run that game, or if you're not really a fan of gacha mechanics, maybe not for you. But yeah, it's also a thing.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tales of series sales surpassed 25 million units worldwide. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Bandai Namco has announced that the Tales of series has officially surpassed 25 million units in sales worldwide. The announcement arrived through the official Tales of Japanese Twitter account. Additionally, it was revealed that Tales of Berseria has also surpassed 2 million units in sales worldwide. This includes both physical and digital sales of the title. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition sales have surpassed 1.5 million units worldwide as well. In May 2019, Bandai Namco revealed that the total worldwide sales for the Tales of series had surpassed 20 million units. Now in 2021, the series has reached another milestone. Additionally, Tales of Arise surpassed 1 million units in sales just a week after its release. This has made Tales of Arise the fastest selling Tales of title within the series to date. Also, probably one of the highest concurrent PC player base on Steam, if I'm not mistaken, which is also, great. It just goes to show you how hotly anticipated Arise was, and it's nice to see it's paying off.
I heard the PC port for that game was actually pretty good too. I know in past they've had issues with PC ports. I mean, I've never played any of them on PC except for Symphonia that bit, but I was looking at reviews, Steam reviews, and a lot of people were like impressed with how it ran, and I was like, oh, that's super good to see.
Yeah, because sometimes PC ports of JRPGs or RPGs in general come as an afterthought after the console release. Like I was playing XIII earlier this year, and that was also much maligned at the start of its PC release, but now it's also patched up. And I've also recently been playing Tales of Berseria on PC without any issues. So yeah, it's pretty great to see that the PC market is also seeing some much needed JRPG love. So yeah, that's Tales of Arise, rising on the charts.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely. Okay, next up.
Next up is Sega to announce new RPG during TGS 2021. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto once again for Siliconera. According to the Tokyo Game Show 2021 official website, Sega has plans to announce a new RPG during its Sega Atlas channel presentation. There are currently no further details as to what could be announced. However, the title is described as being Sega's new RPG. The Sega Atlas TGS 2021 program, where this new RPG will be revealed, will be held on October 1st, 2021 at 10 p.m. Japan Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hey, thank you for putting the U.S. time. Previously, Sega shared a social media campaign that allowed for consumers to share images of their favorite Sega games or even fan creations under a unique tag. A select handful of images will appear during its Tokyo Game Show 2021 presentation. While this is the only broadcast listed through the official Tokyo Game Show 2021 website, Sega will be part of the show starting on September 30th, 2021. Additionally, Sega and Atlas share no further information regarding what could potentially appear during its show outside of this new RPG. The presentation will last roughly an hour. So it's not Skies of Arcadia.
If only. So
hey man,
also,
I got Kazuma Kiryu and Monkey Ball just by joking about it, and then I got Suezo and Monkey Ball and Monster Rancher coming back. So
yeah, so
it's gonna happen someday.
You have to work your magic, wish it into existence. So I'm thinking it could be Project Re-Fantasy. It's the RPG the previous Persona director and producers were working on as their next project. Or it could be something regarding Persona, because the Persona celebration is currently ongoing until next year. And they were going to be announcing something September. And, we're halfway through September, so the clock is kind of ticking. Maybe Persona 6 or nah. Well, they said new RPG, so it couldn't be a remake or remaster of an older Persona game. So that's currently all I'm thinking about. Maybe possibly a new Valkyria Chronicles. But that's all I can think about. Nothing else. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess we'll see soon enough.
Yeah. We have a little bit of time left. I have no main topic idea.
Okay, there's no main topic idea, but I do have a question for Jake. So
okay,
the thing I want
right.
to ask: how did the no anime meme start?
I came across that image on, I forget where I found it, and I thought it was really funny with the penguin that just said no anime. And it was also like at a time where I feel like everyone at GameSpot was super into like Yakuza and Persona and Final Fantasy 14, and that's like all everyone was ever talking about, which I mean, like, I love it. I think I thought it was great that people were super excited about that. But I was like, I'm going to play the heel a little bit. And then I printed up a bunch of pictures of that penguin, and I taped them over to Moore's desk, put them over one of the TVs in there where people watched anime. So I was just being a heel. I thought it would be fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun.
But to be fair, I apart from, Pokemon when I was a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, and Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, I couldn't tell you the first thing about anime, as in TV anime. Like, games are a little different, because I can speak to that. But like TV shows, like, I don't know the first thing. Although I do understand the Full Metal Alchemist joke that Tomorrow always makes on Twitter. 'Cause I saw that.
Oh
episode,
no!
which I wish I didn't see it because of
it's a lot.
his jokes.
That was I remember in college, me and my roommate were like, me and some of my friends were just watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then our other friend, she came in to hang out with us, and that was the first episode she saw.
I at least saw everything leading up to it. Like, I saw those 5 episodes, I think, leading up to it. But yeah, after that episode, I was like,
that episode is not easy to watch.
There's a lot more dark stuff in the show. I can assure you that. Yeah,
I'm sure.
So,
yeah, but I feel like it never gets to that same point.
Genocide and whatnot.
But
so
I feel like just the way they do it is different.
Yeah, it's mostly a little girl and what happens to that little girl that really is upsetting, and that's all I can say. But okay.
Otherwise, it's a great anime.
It's one of my favorites.
Same.
Okay, so Jake, what kind of genres do you like? Because maybe based on that, me and Erroll can suggest a couple of titles.
I don't know. I think he's probably had plenty of people suggest things to him.
Okay, we'll do.
There have been.
Okay, we'll do some out of left field suggestions.
I'll tell you what I've been recommended. I've been recommended Psycho
Okay.
Pass.
Good. Well, season 1.
I was told I would probably like that. Yeah, season 1. I was recommended. What's like the most famous one? I can't believe I'm forgetting it.
Cowboy Bebop?
Cowboy Bebop. A lot of people have told me. And I actually saw a couple episodes of that. Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, same person as Cowboy
Told me
Bebop.
I should check that out. Actually, different people.
Wait, I thought it was the same director.
Oh, I thought you meant. Same person who recommended Cowboy.
Same director.
Yeah. And then Death Note, I think, is the other one that I was told to look into.
Those are like kind of like the classic recommendations.
Those are the main ones. And then, like, I've seen most of the Studio Ghibli films. I really like those films, but I know those are like baby anime.
What about let me so if you like the Ghibli one, Studio Chizu, they did, what did they do? The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I'm trying to go in order here. Summer Wars.
Basically anything by Mamoru Hosoda.
Wolf Children. It was Wolf Children, The Boy and the Beast, Mirai, and then there's that new one coming out, Belle.
Yeah.
Summer Wars is literally a better version of the Digimon movie.
Yeah.
The first part of the second third of the Digimon movie.
I've already spoken on the podcast about Summer Wars as being one of my favorite movies because one of the main aspects of that movie is how family comes together, and it reminds me of how my family came together during a very, very tough time, and seeing it always brings a smile to my face and a tear to my eye, and I highly recommend Summer Wars. Yeah.
All right.
Also,
give that a shot.
Mhm.
this is a random question. Have you ever seen the Speed Racer, the live action adaptation?
I have actually. I don't remember it because I saw it when it came out in
in
theaters.
2008.
Whenever it did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you like that, I do recommend watching that again. But if you like that, you should try Redline. Also very good.
Redline is also very good. Yeah.
Redline. All right.
It's a very balls to the wall, race across the planet kind of thing, and it gets really wild.
Okay, that sounds pretty fun.
But seriously, what kind of genres do you like, or are you attracted to the most?
I mean, I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi. I love historical fiction. I guess more that's books, but I enjoy reading historical fiction quite a bit. I mean, I'm not super picky about genres necessarily. I love horror as well, but like if it's a good movie or a good TV show or a good game, like I will play it, watch it, see it, whatever it might be. I'm more like attracted to good writing.
Gotcha.
Oh, I was about to say
writing,
rewatch
good
Yu-Gi-Oh, but
storytelling.
never mind. At least,
Yeah, I don't know if I'd enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh these days, but I have rewatched the first season of Pokemon. I did it a couple years ago while playing, I think it must have been X and Y.
wow.
Yeah, while I was
Yeah,
playing
that
X and Y, I rewatched it, and I really enjoyed it. It was just like a fun trip down memory lane, 'cause there's all these scenes that I remember, but I just don't remember how things played out. I don't know. It was fun.
And
just also disclaimer: some of Yu-Gi-Oh is written pretty well, but it's all revolving around a card game, so that's the weird part, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, but I only watched. I mean, I guess I was not so much a kid, at least not as much of a kid as I was when I watched Pokemon. But I remember really liking the first and second season. I think after that, I kind of fell
after
off.
that, it's mostly filler. So
Yeah. I feel like it's most of us millennials that watch the first and second season, and then
I watched up to through season 4, and then I watched season 5 a little bit later, and then I never finished the Egypt arc, so I'm just reading the manga of that now.
Okay.
I actually loved the Yu-Gi-Oh games when I was a kid, like the Game Boy games. They were like RPGs where you walk around and duel people, and when you beat them, you get more cards and build your deck. Like I thought that was really
there's
cool.
a new Yu-Gi-Oh game coming out. It said it's already out in Japan. It's supposed to come out for us fall 2021, but I don't know how likely that is, given that it's fall 2021 right now and we don't have a release date. But so Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, which is the newest anime series, it's going to have a Switch game, and it is going to have like the overworld type of thing for the first time in, I want to say, like possibly the first time in 10 years we've had that in a Yu-Gi-Oh game, maybe more.
Yeah, it's mostly been straight card battles, like after a card battle. Yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens goes by like a new rule set because they made a new thing called Rush Duels. Which is like separate from the main game, and then we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel coming out at some point as well.
Nice. Well, I feel like that's all we have been able to discuss this week.
Really, it's so short.
It's fine. I feel like. Jake, do you have anything?
I guess we just start a little later.
Yeah, Jake, do you have anything you want to promote or
plug,
shout out, plug, what have you?
Not really. I guess Nuclear Fridge is the big one. If there's so many podcasts now, and people already listen to a ton of podcasts as is. But if you're looking for another podcast, we mostly just talk about movies and stuff. But if you're looking for another one, Nuclear Fridge, I'm on it with another GameSpot alumni, Matt Paget, as well as one of my best friends, who I've known forever, named Stuart Gears. It's a good time. Check that out. But other than that, I don't really have much. I might have some cool things to announce. Who knows when? Couple months maybe. Just some like interesting projects. But that's a long ways out. So
okay. I mean,
well, we'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It was great to be here. I'm happy we we finally did this, and I'm happy it was about.
Yeah,
the
we
Tales
can
of
we can
Arise.
all
I feel like
we'll
that
all
was
touch
fitting.
base once we all finish it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that will be a good thing. Well, thank you again. This has been Erroll. This has been Jason. Thank you to Jake again, and once again, or as we weekly say, be safe, be healthy, wash your hands, wash your butt.
Yeah. Wear a mask.
Wear a
Get
mask.
vaccinated if you can.
Yeah. Be kind
Take a
to each
shower.
other. Be kind to yourself. Play video games. Watch anime, and we'll see.
Read
you.
manga.
Yeah, and we'll
Read
see you
comic
next
books,
time. Goodbye.
Matane.
See ya. All right.